Hi students, today we are going to see the second section of the chapter reflection and refraction. So till now we have seen some rules pertaining to the reflection and refraction with different kinds of mirrors. Now let me share the screen to have more details on the same. Well, now if you look at the screen, now here we have different positions for the placement of an object, and accordingly the images will be formed at different locations. So chiefly the positions where an object can be there or it can be posited or it can be positioned. So R, first thing is if the object is there at infinity, we have to look at the case, and then so we have to see from R infinity to the next thing is beyond center of curvature and between infinity. So that is the second case. Exactly if the object is at the center of curvature, that is the third case that we have to see. The fourth one is between center of curvature and focus, the principal focus. Next, fifth one being at exactly the principal focus if the object is there, where the image is going to be formed. And finally, we see between focus and the pole also, if the image, if the object is there, where exactly the image is going to be formed. So these things we'll be going to study in detail. Now, so if you look at the figure, actually, the first case being, so as you can see from the picture that object is at infinity. So whenever object is at infinity, you can see one thing here. So what are the types of images? Like what is the nature of the image particularly formed? So this is our main objective to study. So whether the nature is like it is real or real and inverted, or it is vertical, is erect and virtual. So like that we just classify. So in the first case, if the object is at infinity, we know that from infinity, parallel lines of reflection, like the lines emerge parallelly out. So where you can, if you assume two lines, parallel lines from infinity, so once after reflection, you can see in the picture, they pass through, just you can see, they pass through a particular point like here, A dash. Now let us clearly try to understand the object is at infinity. So therefore, the lines will be parallel. From infinity, obviously, the lines of the light rays emerge parallelly, and these parallel lines only they come out. So because they are, some may be parallel to the principal axis, some it may not be parallel to principal axis, but end of the day they are parallel to each other. So therefore, you can see now at a point like this, actually you can expect an image like that is it's not a erect one, rather it is inverted one. So it's a real image only because we can have it's directly we can take it, the image onto the screen. So it's a real image, but it is inverted image. So the image will be formed at this exactly at this point where the parallel, the reflected rays, so after from concave mirror, they converge. So they converge at this point A dash. So therefore it is inverted. So as the arrow indicates, it is inverted. Okay, and then it is real. So because it can be taken on the screen, it is real. Now that is the case. So therefore the nature of the image is real and inverted and highly diminished. That's what we have to observe. So when an object is at infinity, so very small image, that is diminished image, is formed, and that is almost point sized, and that forms exactly that too, that is formed at the focus. Because the parallel lines generally once after reflection they converge at the focus. So therefore at focus only you can see here, or here you can see that F, that is exactly at the focus, we can have its image. So that's how based on the rules of reflection, we can exactly get this. Next one is beyond the center of curvature. That is beyond the center of curvature and below, that is before infinity. So again, you can expect an image, see an object over here. So because center of curvature lies here, obviously the object is lying beyond the center of curvature. So if you take the object as AB, if you just assume that object is AB with height that much, then you have to take 2 points for reference. Like one is the tip and other one is toe. Otherwise, the beginning and the ending of the object. So whenever you have to get an image, whenever you want to conclude something on the image, you need to just take two, three different lines. That is light rays. One is actually from the top. From the top, you have to assume at least two rays. One is parallel to the principal axis and one is passing through the center of curvature. So exactly through the center of curvature. So then the second thing is for this particular point which is there on the principal axis, obviously its image is again whatever the light ray that goes on the principal axis, again it reflects in the same direction. So that's how we can take one end. See, for the other end only, in what way we try for the other end. So see, to get the other end, just now we concluded that one end is on the principal axis only. As you can see in this picture, like for B dash is the image. So therefore, B is there on the principal axis. So B dash is the image of the point B. But what is the image for point A? So if you look at that, for that you need to take at least two rays. One is parallel to the principal axis and one is passing through the center of curvature. So therefore, one ray that you can take from this one point A parallel to the principal axis, after getting reflected from the mirror at D, it comes to the focus as a rule for the reflection. So based on the rule, it comes through focus. Now, this is the light ray that comes to the focus, whereas you have to assume one more light ray which is passing through the center of curvature, not parallel to the principal axis. So that we know that whenever a light ray passes through center of curvature, it retraces its own path, and therefore for this ray actually you can also have a direction like this. So a direction like this is mentioned over here. So it just retraces its path. You can see from A to C and C to E. Again, it gets reflected from E. So therefore, the point of intersection of these two particularly rays, that is AE and so-called DA dash, whatever it may be. So exactly they are getting intersected at this particular point. So therefore, the image falls. The image falls at this point. B dash, A dash is the image of the object. So now, so exactly between the image is formed between focus and center of curvature. That is what we just now concluded. So therefore, now we can mention some more things about it. It's real because we can take onto the screen. It's inverted. It's not erected, rather it is inverted between. It is actually formed between focus and center of curvature, and it is also diminished in size. Similarly, we can have other different cases like exactly at the center of curvature if the object is there. So at the center of curvature, if the object is there, then you can see this is AB and this is B dash A dash, because the reverted portion is B dash A dash. Now, because there exists a principal axis exactly at the center, so therefore you can have a B dash A dash like this. As I just told you, how to expect, at least you have to take two lines from the tip. Like from A, you have to have two lines. One is parallel to the principal axis. It comes after reflection. It comes via focus, and then another is, because center of curvature is here itself, the second line that you have to take is via focus. So the line passing to the focus actually again it will come parallel to the principal axis. Obviously, so whatever the light ray that comes in this direction, AE, it goes parallel to the principal axis. So therefore, you can see over here, one is this light ray and another is this light ray. So exactly at focus, exactly at yeah. So can we know exactly? This is actually they meet at this point, but as such for B, you can see for B dash itself is the image. So for A, to find out the image of A, then we need to check where the two lines from it are being intersected. So exactly at A dash, these two are going to be intersected, because the light ray passing to the focus has to go parallel to the principal axis, and similarly a line parallel to the principal axis has to go via focus. So these two lines meet only at A dash. So therefore, B dash and A dash becomes the image. That is, if the object is at center, center of curvature, so we can conclude that so the image is also formed at the center of curvature only, right? So as B dash A dash, it is same size as that of object, and it is also real and inverted. So that is the nature and shape size of the image. Now, nature of the image, size of the image, and shape of the image, these we can conclude, or we can verify. Now, thing is that next, so far we have seen at C, beyond C, and at infinity. Now we'll consider object at between focus and center of curvature. When you take an object between focus and center of curvature, as shown in the figure, so here actually you have to assume an object AB here. So again, as I said, just mentioned, you have to take at least two lines from A, that is one parallel to the principal axis. It comes after reflection through the focus and comes over here. The line actually that goes like this, no, it goes actually, a line going like this, getting after reflection, it retraces its path, particularly because it is, you can see this particular light ray that is emitted at the tip of A is in the direction of C. So therefore, it also retraces the path of C, that is, it goes via C. And somewhere they meet, these two lines particularly meet at point A dash. So now we can conclude here by looking at B dash and A dash, because B dash is the image of the point B and A is, A dash is the image of point A. So here, can we conclude something here, students? We can see the thing is, it's the image, nature of the image is real and inverted. It is forming beyond C, that is center of curvature, and it is magnified. So far we have not the case, we didn't have the case of magnification. So now the image is magnified. Next thing is, so exactly at the focus. So that's what we are going to discuss. Exactly if it is exact focus. So as I told you, anyway, because at focus, if you assume a small object, so it will have again one ray. As and when you take a ray parallel to the principal axis, it goes through the focus. It has to go through the focus, in fact. So it will be taken somewhere at infinity. Similarly, one more light ray that is for center of curvature, that also goes in this direction, EACY. So like that, we have two parallel lines, so which are going to give image at infinity distance only. So therefore here, particularly when exactly the object is F, focal, this one focus, so our image will be formed at infinity. That's what we can confirm. The last case is, that is between focus and pole, like what happens. So now you have one light ray, just assume that object is AB, so the image at A, again one ray is parallel to the principal axis, it goes via focus. Then you have one more light ray, it goes via center of curvature. This is how it's there. Now, so therefore, where exactly it is formed? One is extension for this C, that is center of curvature, because the one light ray actually is coming in this direction. So we need to have the point of intersection, but because these two lines are not seeming to intersect in this direction, so we extend backside, though therefore they meet at some point A dash. So therefore the image is, it's not real, it is virtual in this case. It's virtual and erect behind the mirror. That is the important thing, that it is formed, and finally it is magnified. So it is magnified, it is virtual and erect, but it is behind the mirror only. So that's what we need to observe. Then, so here is a crux of what we have seen so far. Actually, this position of the object, position of the image, size of the image, and nature of the image. So whatever we have seen, the same is there. Just you people have to have thorough acquaintance with this table. Now coming to some of the uses of concave mirrors, basically. So where we use these concave mirrors are convex mirrors. So particularly if you look at concave mirrors, like they are used as shaving mirrors, and in torches, searchlights, and vehicle headlights, it is only concave mirror that is that will be there, and it is used by dentists to get large images of the patient's teeth, and finally in solar furnaces to concentrate heat. So in solar furnace also we use, okay, to concentrate heat. So yes, we can concentrate heat using some mirrors. Already we have done some examples, and we have some activities in the previous classes as well, right? So therefore doctors typically use the concave mirror to search, right, and patient teeth. Okay, so these are the different cases where you use concave mirrors. Unlike this, see, convex mirrors actually they are used in the street lights. We can they are used in the automobiles, particularly with a rear view. So whatever the vehicle that comes back is to be viewed perfectly by the driver. So therefore, convex mirrors will be used there. Next. So now, once applications and uses are done, now the important thing is we need to look at the image formation by a convex mirror, because so far we have seen for a concave mirror. Now the same, except that at infinity, if the object is at infinity, so only thing is here we have to extend in the other direction. So therefore, image actually it's not a real image, it's a virtual image, because it's falling after the mirror. So it's a virtual image, but it is erect. No, behind the mirror it is F at F. So behind the mirror at F is, what is the option? So there is an option behind the mirror at F. So you can expect this is the convex mirror. So behind the mirror at F. So where is F here? Yes, yeah, exactly here. Because once they are extended in the other direction, that is, so you can get at focus only, right? So because the lines from infinity are parallel to generally, so therefore they get reflected. They get what we say synchronized. They get, yes, interacted. They get interfered at a point A dash. So that's how we can have its image virtual and erect behind the mirror. And notice what else we have, it's highly diminished. So obviously the images object at infinity are very large in size, and so therefore object in so an image is highly diminished. Between the infinity and pole here, like if you, between infinity and pole, if you have directly the cases that are that last are like between infinity and pole. If you see, this is the pole, like geometric center of the mirror. So infinity means it can be either in this direction between infinity and the pole. So this is the object. It has got certain height. So therefore, actually, here you have to assume in the similar manner as we have done. So therefore, B's image will be found at B dash, but A's image will be found somewhere in the A dash. So it's virtual and direct behind the mirror between P and F, and finally it is diminished. It's what we have to observe. Next, some more slides fastly. So use of convex mirrors, as I told you, they are used for rear view mirrors to see traffic at the rear side, and they are used as a device to check the thefts in the shop. So that also can be seen simply. It's okay. So used as a device to check thefts in a shop, like whatever we are using now, like these CCTVs, burglary alarms, and all. Now, so there we use, it's no Cartesian sign convention. New Cartesian sign convention. How actually we can assign signs for different cases. So what is the Cartesian sign convention? Now first thing is you can have the same axis as principal axis. Okay, so therefore when you observe both parallelly, first thing is you need to identify just on the spherical mirror, this is convex, and therefore object is there placed in the left side of the mirror. So therefore that's what Cartesian sign coordinates, left hand side. So distance to the right of the screen, that is positive x-axis, is positive, white yes, while y that is left to its left is negative, x-axis is negative. Negative x-axis is negative. Thing is that distance to the right of origin, like this is the origin, like where exactly origin looks. So distance to the origin, that is you can see distance to the right of the origin, like so exactly. If you can include that, if you can take in such a way that at the pole itself, so there is at the pole itself the origin is also located, then we can calculate the distance to the right of the origin, that is on the positive x-axis. So positive, while the let's is also negative. So distance of the above principal axis, distances above the principal axis, like they will be taken as positive y-axis, and distances that is positive and negative y-axis, rather they are taken as negative. So once on the positive axis they are taken as positive, you have to, yes, above the principal axis are always positive, and below the principal axis are always negative. So that's what you can see the left hand arrow and right hand arrow and top side arrow and bottom side arrow. Next thing is, as far as mirrors are concerned, we have a basic formula with regard to object distance and image distance, and not only that, the focal length of the mirror. So given these three, we have object distance as u, image distance as v, and finally we have the length, that is focal length. So there exists a relation between these two. Now generally what is that relation? If you can see, yes, 1 by v plus 1 by u is equal to 1 over f. That is Reciprocal of object distance plus reciprocal of image distance is equal to reciprocal of focal length or focal distance. Now that is to be observed. So U, convex mirror, yeah, for convex mirror U is negative. For concave mirror, yes, for concave mirror also U is negative. Both for convex, because U is the distance from the object. That is the distance of the object. So they are passed. You can see, you can take here. So convex mirror, it is U and both. For concave or convex, the object distance is negative. Similarly, V is positive for both convex and concave, and F is positive with regard to convex and focal length. With convex is always positive, but for concave, focal length here it is negative. So that's, we know that because. Next. Now see, now there exists an important formula with regard to the height of the image and the height of the object. So usually that is called magnification. As the name implies, how much magnification is applied by a mirror on an object, and finally how, with what magnified image it comes out, like with what magnification it comes out as an image. So magnification in this context is defined as the ratio of height of the image to the height of the object. So again, just now as I told you, negative image distance, that is minus V, positive the called object distance. Object distance is U, negative image distance is minus V, right? So again, magnification is defined as the ratio of height of the image, that is H2, divided by, that is to the height of the object H1. Object height is H1 and image height is H2. In this case, we can also express this in terms of image distance by object distance. So therefore, I can say it is simply minus image distance into minus V, like divided by object distance, that is U. Now, for virtual image, M is positive, and for real image, M is negative. That's how we have to take. For virtual image, M is positive, and for real image, M is negative. Now, so there exists some standard conditions, like where we study that if magnification is greater than 1, so image is bigger than the object. So as just it is implied, the magnification is greater than 1, definitely the image is bigger than the object. So image is exactly 1, then image is of the same size, yes, of the object. And finally, if M is less than 1, image is smaller than that of the object. So two things here, when M is positive, that is either in the first case, that is M is greater than 1, then the image is a virtual and direct, and the image M is negative, so then the image is a real and inverted. Now, yes, with this, the second section of reflection and refraction is over. The rest of the part we will see in the, that is with refraction of light, in the third section of this video. Thank you.